Good morning. Welcome to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS radio and television networks. And we are streaming to the world at www.znsbahamas.com. Let us pray. Our God and our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Once again, we come humbly before your throne of grace and mercy. We come with humble and grateful hearts. We come to thank you for keeping us safe overnight and for awakening us this morning. We come to thank you for the rain, for the sunshine, for the natural resources, for these bountiful waters and beautiful islands. Oh God, we pray that you would continue to teach us how to be better stewards of what you have given us. We pray for vision, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that we can deal with the vicissitudes of life and so that we can conquer the challenges and the problems that sometimes beset us. We say a special prayer for those who are bereaved, who are sick, infirmed, shut in, those who are teetering on the brink of poverty. Oh God, uplift them, empower them, be their comfort in this, their time of need. Today, as we conduct this show, we look to you. Oftentimes, oh God, we know not what to say. But when we lift up our eyes to you, you undergird us with wise tongues for our discussion. And for that, we are thankful. Oh God, we are also grateful for your assurance that no weapon, absolutely no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Indeed, that is the assurance that keeps us going day in and day out. And we thank you for that. We say a special prayer for our mothers and fathers, for our sons and daughters. We say a special prayer for those in leadership. Oh God, show them the way as we continue on this path to national development. We thank you for all your blessings, your kindness, your mercy, and your grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. In a few minutes, we're going to have a very special guest. Mr. Peter Nygard will join us. The debonair, billionaire from Nygard Key, at the very tip of Lyford Key. He is a fashion mogul who has made the Bahamas his home. But all is not well. And so we're going to hear from him. All is well now. Well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to talk about how all is well in the House of Assembly, but it's not well. But at least we know from the communication by the Speaker of the House of Assembly that the Public Accounts Committee, headed by the Free National Movement's member for St. Anne's, Hubert Chipman, we know that that committee has gone beyond its power by subpoenaing and summoning co-chairs of the Urban Renewal Program based on some untabled audit, meaning, as we were suggesting, based on the precedents of our parliamentary history. A parliamentary committee, a House of Assembly committee, acts on things that are brought to the House of Assembly and properly tabled. And so to deal with a matter in the public domain, well, let me do this. Let me share the relevant portions of the Speaker's communication. You know this matter. This is the matter of an audit being done of the Urban Renewal Program. The audit was requested by the opposition member of Parliament who heads the Public Accounts Committee. And the Auditor General followed that request and did a snapshot audit of the Urban Renewal Program. The basis is that, and maybe we should call Algernon Allen and perhaps Cynthia Mother Pratt. They are the co-chairs. Mr. Allen is probably at home, if not in the office. So we can have Melissa call. You have the number at home. When the audit was done of the Urban Renewal Program, about 400 contracts for small home repairs seem to have been the major subject. Out of those 400 contracts for small home repairs, about 5 of them were not completed satisfactorily. And that formed the basis of the inquiry that led to the Public Accounts Committee, Hubert Chipman, the chair, asking for Cynthia Mother Pratt and the Honorable Algernon Allen, both the Honorable, to appear before the Public Accounts Committee. The issue is that the Public Accounts Committee was not acting on information laid before the House of Assembly. If you are a committee of the House of Assembly, you must deal with matters arising in or from the House of Assembly. You got the 36 number? Yeah, let's call him and get a comment from him. What the Speaker says essentially, after my careful study of the issues, aided by the legal opinion of the officers of the Crown and other scholarship, the following positions emerge, which I will state in the form of the following propositions. The power to send for persons, papers, and records, often abbreviated as PPR powers, resides in each of the chambers of Parliament and is a very valuable tool to aid efficient and democratic parliamentary government. This power can clearly be delegated to a select committee by the chamber that created the committee, and in the case of the Public Accounts Committee, the said PPR powers were granted pursuant to Rule 17 of the 2005 House of Assembly Rules of Procedure. The PPR powers are given for the express purpose of enabling a select committee to carry out the functions which have been delegated to it by this Honourable House, and based on the comment from the first report of the UK Select Committee on Privilege, to utilize those powers outside the delegated remit would involve the committee acting ultra vires. That, in practice, the exercise of PPR powers is almost universally done by simple letters of invitation only, which are normally voluntarily complied with, but that no sanction might attach if such invitations are declined. I wonder if you're following me on this. Because if you're not, we can start again. But I think you are following me on this. This is the Speaker of the House of Assembly making his ruling on the audit of urban renewal. The said audit report to which the PAC is purporting to carry out its investigatory functions has not been laid before this House and is therefore a category of documents, audited or unaudited, that can be said to be before the House so as to attract the scrutiny of the PAC. That's key ruling there. Not a category of documents that can be said to be before the House so as to attract the scrutiny of the PAC. In other words, it must come to the House of Assembly first. This is the Speaker now. In light of these observations, which clearly have support in the law and practice relating to the performance of parliamentary functions, there are several possible courses of actions that this House may take to resolve this matter in a reasoned and procedurally proper manner. The first would have been to refer the matter for the consideration of the Committee of Privilege, which has the delegated authority for inquiring into all matters affecting the powers of the House and the members thereof, and all matters relating to the practices and procedures of the House and its committees. However, armed with the opinion of the law offices of the Crown, and guided by the learning from Erskine Mays and the UK Select Committee on Privilege, I would therefore be of the opinion that this course of action would be somewhat otiose. We got to Google that word. I've never seen that word before. Otiose. O-T-I-O-S-E. As of the second course of action, it is clearly up to this Honourable House to decide, by way of resolution on a motion brought for the purpose, whether it wishes to cause the said report to be tabled in this Honourable House and referred to the Public Accounts Committee, in which case the PPR powers may be properly invoked, either informally or by formal summons issued pursuant to a resolution of the House if necessary. Otiose means serving no practical purpose or result. In the meantime, I would direct that the Public Account Committee stays its hand in relation to further inquiries relative to the said report until this Honourable House decides how it intends to proceed along the lines outlined above. It's clear then. Stand down is one way you can put it. Stay your hand is another way you can put it. You have no authority to do what you were doing is another way to put it. The Honorable Algernon Allen is on the line. Why not? Which number did you? Pardon me? Go in there and try and reach him for me, please. It's very important. Don't have an attitude. It's very, very important. And then see if we can get Mother Pratt as well. This is the ruling, this is the communication from the Speaker concerning a matter that caused both Algernon Allen and Cynthia Mother Pratt a lot of consternation. Can we try those numbers quickly, please? Give her the other numbers. It's very, very important. I think the Honorable Cynthia Mother Pratt became sick over this whole issue. Had to see doctor. When someone attacks your good name, when someone maligns your character, when someone summons you to appear without any authority, it's troubling. I know, and many of you in our audience know as well. I believe Peter Nygard, when he comes, he's got a story that's similar to that as well. And so it is important for all of us then to walk circumspectly, don't have no attitude, do what we're supposed to do it forthrightly, do it with a positive attitude, and then all can see whether you're hiding something or not. All can see what the motives are for doing what is being done. I'm going to take a break to recognize our many sponsors and also to assist in reaching those who we want to reach. I want to tell you we're going to have a Father's Day celebration like never before. Sorry, ladies, Mother's Day is gone. Father's Day is the next big event on our calendar, and that is coming up on June 21st. And so we are launching, we're going to let you know a little bit more about it later, but we are launching on this Friday, tomorrow, a special promotion for fathers and sons. It's going to be powered by KSMO, and you know I'm always dressed from head to toe in KSMO. We also have Quality Home Center on board, and we are going to have other participating sponsors where you can win thousands of dollars in prizes when you participate in the father-son promotion here on Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS Radio and Television Networks. We were talking about the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Assembly acting ultra vires of its powers and authority, and the Speaker of the House of Assembly, the Honorable Kendall Major, has made a communication and a ruling on the matter, and suffice it to say that should be the end of the Public Accounts Committee's inquiry into the Urban Renewal Program concerning the audit which has not been tabled in the House of Assembly. It doesn't work that way. And so the Speaker has said, the Speaker has directed the Public Accounts Committee to stay its hand in relation to the urban renewal audit. The key words, stay its hand, which leads us now to our illustrious, debonair citizen of the world, Mr. Peter Nygard. It's such a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Very, very pleased to be here again and see
you. Yes. It's not the same circumstances. Normally, you are a happy person, very philanthropic, someone who helps and assists Bahamians and others around the world. These circumstances are different. But before we get into why you're really here, let those who may not know who you are, may not know of your antecedents, give them a little glimpse into Peter Nygard.
Well, I'm, of course, been in Bahamas now for over 35 years. I'm a permanent resident of Bahamas and very happy to be here and very happy to be a permanent resident and a permanent member of the Bahamian Society. I love this country. I always have loved it, and I love the people of Bahamas, and I've made it my home. I try to play my community role here instinctively, not because somebody really asked me to, but to help out and do my community chores and my community responsibilities, from day one. So it's now, as far as the other side of me is concerned, or as other sides of me is concerned, I'm in a fashion business. I have probably one of the largest clothing manufacturing companies in the world, and it is worldwide. It's in both Canada and the United States, and now we've expanded into London and Paris and Italy and India and China, and Indonesia. So it is a huge business that takes me around the world twice a year, and I'm in a constant state of traveling. But I think the biggest news of all about me is my medical business and my stem cells, and I've become really the flag carrier for stem cells, and that, Darold, has gone a long way now, in terms of my advancement in that area, and I've become the person who's been used more often than anybody in the world today as the typifying the person who's really been able to do something in the world of rejuvenation, anti-aging, even reverse aging, and discoveries in that regard is huge. And it's exciting, and it's one of the most exciting things that's happened in this world. Certainly one of the most exciting things I have ever done in my life.
In a nutshell, then, you may be 75, but you look 35.
Yeah.
Is that it?
You know what's interesting? Many parts of my body, of course, my muscle, my skin, and my bones are like a 25-year-old. Then other parts of my body are like a 70-year-old, like my joints now. My joints are like a 70-year-old. So now I'm out rebuilding the cartilage in my joints and, to keep them all together. But the point being is that you may have like 200 vital body parts, and I might have been able to reverse age 20 of them. I still got 180 to go, But the point is that the things that I have been working on has actually been working. And I certainly, by all standards, am younger now than I was 4 years ago. Any picture, any muscle tone, any standards, any measures inside and outside is an absolute fact like that. And when I compare myself, like I was just doing some push-ups this morning. Yeah. I did 400 now. When I was here
this morning?
Yeah. When I was here last
400 push-ups?
Yeah, 400. No, I did 200 first. I rested for 10 seconds. Then 200, rested for 10 seconds.
Can I have that verified?
Here.
Yeah? You saw it? Did Leo see it as well?
Oh, Leo, I left Leo back behind a long time ago. No, it's not so much bragging, a little bit of bragging, but it's more a testimonial to where I started from 13 push-ups to, I think I might have been here last time, I was talking something like 130, and my record was 200, and I'm just whipping along and whipping along. So it's incredible what's happening to my body. And it's and medical science people are studying my body in every detail in cells, and saying that I talked earlier about the cartilage issue, like the joints, and I just discovered the fact that my joints actually, I have 50% of my cartilage damaged, and my ligaments. I didn't know that. So I go in and get an operation, orthopedic operation. They said to me, Peter, you shouldn't have been able to walk in the last 2 weeks, let alone play volleyball with the Bahamian national team. You should have been incredible amount of pain, and you say you never felt any pain. They say, you know what, your knees are held together by your muscle, not by your cartilage, because your muscles are incredible. We've never seen anything like it, and they were holding it together. And because I had my muscle at a 25-year-old, and because I had taken stem cells, that it reduced the inflammation in my body, and therefore I did not feel all this particular pain. So I get this operation. Then I'm supposed to get an operation. I'm supposed to go into a wheelchair for 2 weeks and crutches for another 2 weeks. And right now I shouldn't really be walking the way I walk. I get off that table, and I walk right to my car. They say, "Oh, sit down, sit down." I go to the next day's party opening and stand there for 5 hours, without any assistance at all. And all the medical community is talking about, you look at that guy, he's supposed to be on a wheelchair. And they held me as testimonial. And they said, look, this guy here, this stuff really works.
This is revolutionary. This can change the world.
This is revolutionary. It is changing the world, And I've been now dealing with the top level people from Harvard, from Yale, the National Institute of Health, the very top echelon of this world now. I've had them, actually I had them in St. Kitts. I invited 15 of them to have a major conference on this whole rejuvenation. These are the people who advise FDA, who are their mentors, who are their control board. They're now and in awe of what I've been able to achieve, both in terms of my own conditioning and also in my medical advancements. So it has gone it's very, very exciting. This field, I could spend here.
So the legislation has been passed in the Bahamas.
Legislation being passed in the Bahamas, and it's been so slow here, unfortunately, that I've had to go on. And I also established a new frontier in St. Kitts.
So you moved your operation to St. Kitts?
I didn't move it. I have a second, 3 fronts actually. I have a China front, I have a St. Kitts front. And the reason it's St. Kitts is because my partner there is the head of Yale. His name is Gene Redmond, and he has a whole laboratory established in there already for 30 years. And it became a haven when I went in to get my stem cell tested under him. Their safety, the earlier ones I think I showed you where I have returned myself to A0, he became like a gift from heaven. My God, this is a guy I've been waiting for. And he is a 76-year-old, and he started embracing this whole technology. He was such a believer and been such a believer in anti-age, reverse aging. And we just found a match immediately, And so I actually started to work there as well now, And the Prime Minister there is very, very supportive, So it is another frontier. Darold, the issue for me is that I'm in a hurry. I don't want to wait. I cannot wait. Hell, I'm not 75, but 74,
You're 74?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
July 24th. July 24th,
July 24th?
Yeah.
That's your birthday?
There we are, 2 Leos,
Mandy's birthday is the same date.
Male and female Leo. Now watch out for that team. That's lethal.
We're gonna have a celebration. How is your house, by the way?
House is dead. It's been for 5 years. I've been trying to get a damn license to rebuild my house.
Yeah.
And I know you've been talking about it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. The neighbor, Bacon, blocked the government from making and giving me the permit. Did an injunction against them. to stop
We're
him.
going to get to that.
Oh,
I
my
don't want
God.
you to get hot yet.
Oh,
I don't want you to get hot yet. We're going to get to that. We got plenty
okay,
time.
Yeah, cool down, yeah.
But why I asked about your house is because you have an open house.
Yeah.
You welcome people to your house. And I was just telling Mandy on the way here that Lyford Key, you have changed the face of Lyford Key.
Yeah.
Lyford Key was a closed enclave for the rich and famous.
Yeah.
But when you invite volleyballers, youth campers, they get to see what they otherwise would not have been able to see.
Yeah. It is two different cultures, you know. I mean, I have a full respect for people to have their community and live their lifestyle the way they want to live it, and high regard for them, and do not try to disturb that at all. Same time, I also want to live my standards and be with the group that I want to be with, which, quite frankly, for me, it was the Bahamian people. So I never.
So you have a love for the Bahamians.
I have always had a love for the Bahamians. I come to Bahamas to be with Bahamians. It is their country, you know, and embrace them instinctively. You know, it's you know, like I never had a master plan. I came over here and I was so welcomed by everybody, King Eric's, and you know, one after another. It was the most wonderful homecoming for me here. Wonderful feeling to come here. I always loved it. So I actually became part of Bahamians. So they were calling me brother. You know, I was very, very happy to be called brother, right? So for me, I was not joining and didn't come to Bahamas to come to Lyford Key. I joined to Bahamas to come to Bahamas. And my property just happens to be on the other side of Lyford Key.
Right.
It's never has been Lyford Key. So I have access through Lyford Key.
Right.
You know, and I try to be respectful and always try to be respectful for their road and their security and everything, like a good neighbor should. And all I have ever asked to do is be respectful for me as well. I wanted to bring in, as you said, you know, we have church groups and underprivileged children and event after event after event. And somehow it isn't even Lyford Key. And I think it's a mistake to use the word whole Lyford Key. I think Lyford Key people in general have been very, very good.
Okay.
It is Mr. Lois Bacon. See?
One man.
One man and perhaps another man, Lamcule, beside him. So it is a little cliquish area.
Yeah.
And he started earlier with a guy named David McGrath. David McGrath was living beside there.
Let's take a pin here because we have to take a break. You know, we have to let our sponsors get their advertising in. We have time. We're not going anywhere. You're going to be here for the long haul. I know you have meetings. You're a very busy man, but please sit with us for another hour or so.
Love to.
Here on Darold Miller Live. Treat your neighbor. Call your friend. Peter Nygard is on the air here on Darold Miller Live. He's going to be here for at least another hour. Mandy, you Facebooking? Go ahead. Let the world know. You said your company was perhaps one of the biggest clothing manufacturers in the world.
In pants particularly.
In pants.
Yeah. No, there's some huge conglomerates, but we really specialize in pants. And today I specialize in a word called slims, which is a unique
I think I saw one of them.
Which is a
Our
unique
good friend
one.
Judy has one of them, I think.
Well,
Mandy's going to get one too.
Mandy's going to get them. Then Mandy needs to tell me how you feel because they are
Right.
slimming, and they lift up the butt. And they shape it, and they get rid of this, the little tummy there, and they get rid of this out.
Goldfish Simon would say, "Oh!
Oh, no.
This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages."
Why spend money on a new car when you can get one just like new? At Easy Car Sales, we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, and more, with zero-down financing available and a 6-month powertrain warranty on every car we sell. We keep it simple. Call 461-0100 or drop by one of our 2 convenient locations on Gladstone Road or Bernard Road. Open weekdays from 9:30 till 5:30 and Saturdays from 10 till 2. For first-rate cars and zero hassle, Easy does it every time.
It's the rush that's going to make history. Celebrate the first ever Junkanoo Carnival with a chance to win over $65,000 in cash and prizes in the BTC Top Up Rush. Just top up $15 or more for a chance to win free data, free credit, and you could be one of 3 winners of a grand cash prize. Over $65,000 in cash and the coolest prizes. You don't want to miss this rush. The Top Up Rush only from BTC.
Show the world how much you love your mother.
This May, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas,
in conjunction with International Appliances, is celebrating mothers.
Let us know in a poem or short story
just what your mother means to you.
Winners will receive
a washer,
a queen-size orthopedic mattress and box spring,
or a 5,000 BTU air conditioner
as we celebrate mothers.
Email us your poem or your short story to radio@znsbahamas.com
or drop it off to ZNS, Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, mark Celebrating Mothers Promotion, in care of the radio department.
Entries must be in by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, May 26th.
And winners will be announced on Saturday, May 30th, live on Radio Bahamas. So what are you waiting for? Start writing now.
Ever gotten over one financial hump to find an even bigger one down the road? Do the words budget and savings leave you on a sour note? Confused by all those banking terms like refinancing and consolidation? Fidelity Bank understands. Our experienced and knowledgeable financial service representatives provide you with all the tools you need to get to your goal of achieving the financial freedom you want and the peace of mind you need. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Welcome back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS radio and television networks. We just got a call from our good friend, Mr. Frank Hanna, who is perhaps more colorful than you are, Peter Nygard.
He is. And he gave me his pants.
Yeah.
And I wore his pants, and they are the most colorful pants there are in the world.
Is there anything you can do with Frank Hanna's pants to make it a worldwide thing?
They should be. That's a really a Bahamas statement, you know. I love the man.
Yeah. He's preparing for the Red Bays Snapper Tournament in North Andros. I know you know the whole country. And because I think you took your yacht there.
I go to Andros a lot. Andros is only an hour away from Nygard Key, and so it's the last frontier. You know, this is the last frontier we have in North America. You know that land. It's beautiful land, undiscovered land.
Yeah, the government is investing quite a bit of money in
and rightfully so.
Agricultural, marine sciences. And what do you think about the PLP government?
Well, I'm a big fan of, always have been a big fan of PLP government, and particularly Perry Christie. But I'm disappointed in getting things done. You know, I must say that I've been held back myself for way too long right now to getting on with these things, and I'm trying to light a fire under this thing. You know, it's not moving fast enough.
You have any thoughts about Bahama?
I have bad thoughts, meaning I just can't. First of all, it's terrible that it's a year late already, and I've always had problem with what is their message. What is their message? We're having a lot of trouble bringing tourists into this country, and Atlanta's done a hell of a job. They're a very first-class act. Saul Kersnaw was. And then I look at Bahamara and I said, what is Bahamara's statement besides having a hell of a lot of rooms? You gotta stand for something, And a lot of these places I go all over the world, and you got some really, really magnificent statements out there, And so I'm worried.
What do you mean? You like Atlantis is the lost city, underworld,
the
rising from the ashes kind
aquarium. Of thing? That's right. Atlantis has a lot of things going for it. That's right. And it is exciting. You can bring the family over there. You can see there's a world largest aquarium. And it just looks exciting. Very interesting place to go.
You're saying Bahamas dull and bland.
It appears to be so to me. Now, I gotta be fair about it. I have not checked it out very thoroughly at all. Haven't been close to it at all. But I must say that I've been worried about it all this time. And now that it's another year late, that all worries me, especially because we sure need that to be a success.
You have investments in China. What do you think about the Chinese?
They are the most dynamic, most powerful, most competent people in the world.
Wow.
They are so good. I have hired them. I've been there for 40 years. I have the highest level of respect for them, And any time I can get into partnership with them, have them working for me, I'm all there. So I can't say enough good things about the Chinese. And when you go to China, it is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling what you see. And you see their efforts now. I think it's going to go down in history as the fastest built society that ever lived, from being 50 years ago, for being absolutely poverty-stricken, and now really to be ahead of the United States. You go there...
Financially speaking?
The whole economy... although they say there's a second largest economy in the world today, I think the numbers lack the reality. I personally think the reality is that China is the number one country in the world today.
You think China is number one?
I think China is number one, and I'm very highly qualified to say that. I've been part of China now all my life. I was named the chairman of the advisory committee for Canadian government in 1980. And out of my chairmanship came two major recommendations. One was the free trade deal with the United States, ultimately grew up to be NAFTA, biggest trade deal in the history of the world. Second was liberalization of trade with China. Now, China's exports at that time was 95% apparel, and very little of it the United States. We used to do business, of course, with South Korea and Japan and Hong Kong and Taiwan. And I was one of the first to go in there when we went to the back of Oxford. I was the only car on the whole road, at that time. So I grew up with it. I became best friends with the vice mayor of Shanghai, named Xia Lin. And he is one of the guys who was part of the economic miracle of China, and built Shanghai for one, etc. And I saw it grow up right in front of my nose, and now I don't recognize the place, but I remember the time, when I had to go to factories in the back of ox cart, and so forth. So, if anyone who's really seen it and has gone to China can't even imagine how modern, advanced, beautiful it is. Every country, they had to have 20 or 30 cities in that place. Any one of them doesn't take a backseat to any city in the United States. And of course, New York used to be the symbol of the world. You go back to New York and you start thinking about being in a depressed economy, and compared to coming from Shanghai or Hong Kong or Shenzhen or Guangzhou even, or Beijing, and and the names go on and on and on. I can't tell you how impressed anyone will be when they go see it. And
I'm going to tweet what you said. China is number one in the world.
Yeah.
Not the United States.
Not the United States.
They might revoke your passport in the U.S.
I gotta call it the way I see it. I mean, I'm a big love of the United States, but when you ask me that question as to if you make a comparison,
but Canada is your place of.
And the Canadian passport number uno. You couldn't travel with a better passport than a Canadian passport. Canada has the highest reputation out there in the world. The Canadians have done such a job internationally, and they're so highly regarded everywhere. And I'll tell you the other country that's done a hell of a job. It's called Bahamas. And every time you say you're from Bahamas, people smile and say, that's wonderful, I want to go there. So Bahamas has done a hell of a good job internationally.
Why are they trying to smear you, Peter Nygard? This is a campaign against you.
Yeah.
They abuse you. They call you this and they call you that. And you, despite the money you give them, they take your money and they still...
And the word "they" really comes down to the word bacon. I think he hides behind, quote, "save the base," hides behind Lyford Keys. He's hidden behind everybody all his life, and he still tries to play hide and go seek. It's straight out one man who has his own ulterior motives, and then has gone on a major campaign. Now, and then it's unfortunate, that I've had to struggle with this for the last 10 years. Now, it's only now really become very public, now that he's about to lose this war that he's inflicted on me. And then why I say he's going to lose his war in here, because he hasn't wanted in any way for the government to allow me to build that Nygard Key, or to even, as they promised, to give me part of the lease, lease some more of the land that they promised.
I've been to your place. You have a boat. Are you able to bring your boat up? He has a boat. He is able to bring his boat. In fact, his boat goes over under the house.
Hides behind under the house. That's right. Yeah.
So what's the problem? Why y'all can't live together?
That's right. Why we can't all live together?
I guess.
Isn't that something that no countries can live beside each other? No neighbors can live beside. Sometimes we can't live with our own spouse. Our human beings got to be in a state of conflict all the time.
Are they jealous of you?
I think that's part of it. I think the man is also land hungry. He, in his testimonials, his main obsession is land, and try to accumulate land and control land whichever way he can. He even testified that when he got this false award from Audubon Society for false reasons. And he testified in that speech, he says, everything is land. And to land is even having it, controlling it, So he may give away land and protect land as long as he can then control it while he's alive.
So what is happening now? Because I know sometimes you're such a positive person. You don't like to spend your energy on negativity. But when something bothers you, it must be really troublesome. Yeah. What is it now? They're denying you access to your own house?
Well, it's been going on for a long time. We fought over the road for a long time. He built over my easement, my access, and put a gate and wouldn't allow anybody to come in. And we finally, after millions of dollars, got that cleared up and got rights to our property. But then comes other things. You deny and do a fix in there, and don't give building permits, don't give work permits, don't give cut off my electricity. He built his house. It's sort of comical. He built his house over my easement. He then left my lines under his house, and then he goes into my lines and taps my lines and cuts off my electricity, which goes under his piece of property. It's a lot of evil things happen. So it's unfortunately the constant state.
Can you rise above that?
I've been trying. You know that. I've been trying to rise above it, and I've been making small of it. But the trouble is now you start asking. This campaign is ever increasing. Yeah. And you know what the trouble with it is? It's manufactured. He fabricates things. He pays off people to say certain things that are not true. He tries to set up scenarios which are not true. I'll tell you how he even did this.
Well, we don't want to, I'm not sure if we want to get too specific, because we don't want a case, another case. You have cases that you have to deal with. I think if we just lay your cards on the table.
I think that what I was going to say is not litigation. It's just part of the reality about how this kind of harassment tactics are working. Here you got a very innocent and very loving and very noble people. A lot of them very good friends of mine in Lyford Key. Most of them were always coming to Nygard Key, brought their friends to over there to come and see. They had their weddings there. They had their anniversaries there. So it wasn't only the people of Bahamas, but it was also Lyford Key themselves. All the royalty was coming, all the movie stars coming. And so the trouble with Bacon has been that he's been able to try to tie them and hijack them to feeling that it's Lyford Key who's against Peter Nygard and Lyford Key who's against the present government. And that's where the real criminality of this comes in there, that he hijacks those people. And some of them have now phoned me and said, Peter, I want you to know I am not for this. I don't want to get in the middle of this battle. I am not part of this campaign over and over again. So they're not happy about Mr. Bacon doing this. He takes a case where he gets them to put an injunction, a small group of injunction against the government, against Perry Christie, to stop him from allowing the building permit for Nygard Key. The 5 years now that I've been waiting for it.
And this concerns you rebuilding your house or removing the sand from your marina, or what?
This concerns about building the house and building the berms to protect the sand erosion, like everybody else has. You see those berms all over Bahamas, all over Nassau.
That's the same thing there at Sanders Beach, where you do it so that the sand remains contained.
It's a worldwide kind of system. It's world kind of that you can maintain and hold the sand and keep it there. So it is a popular practice now, has been for 50 years, and that's all I have ever asked for as well. And I'm the only one who's been, quote, denied or at least been prevented from getting the permit for that by Lois Bacon.
I've been there. Lyford Key is like heaven. I see why they go there. Yeah. But where you are at the tip, it's so beautiful.
It's the most beautiful place in the world. It's the most beautiful place in the world. It is. There's nothing like it. The water on there, the coral reefs that were good one time until we got that oil problem over there, And so it is truly a treasure, that place. And Nygard Key has been really truly a treasure to Bahamas, And I, with my spirit, I've always wanted to share that, with many people, including the people of Lyford Key, So it's a tragedy to have to be a neighbor with a person who has got that mentality that he'll spend any kinds of money to try to control it, to try to drive me out.
If you couldn't live Lyford Key, Nygard Key, where else in the Bahamas would you live? If you couldn't, I know you're going to stay there, of course, but if you couldn't be there, would you be Exuma Keys?
Yeah, probably somewhere like that, yeah. I'd be on one of the islands,
You know who loves you too? Turks and Caicos.
Yeah. Turks and Caicos is beautiful place, yeah. Turks and Caicos, beautiful. I'll tell you, another beautiful place is Cuba.
Cuba?
Yeah, they invited me to come down there, and they have some phenomenal things going on over there, and it's
The beaches in Cuba are really, really wide.
Beautiful.
Lots of sand.
Yeah.
Water's not as beautiful as ours.
Not as beautiful. There's no place in the world that has water like this. This is the most beautiful water in the world. We have such an asset here. We have to get out and enjoy the waters of this. We have a phenomenal asset over here.
Were you here for Carnival?
Yes.
You danced?
I didn't dance. I didn't dance. I was here for John Canoe, and I was a Santa Claus. You remember that?
Yeah,
I was a Santa Claus at the time. No, I didn't dance, and I was trying to get Behara here to dance, but she wouldn't dance.
Carnival was fun, I understand, and successful.
And successful. And the right thing to do. I think we started, quite frankly, we needed to start celebrating our women as well. You know, the other countries, Brazil and Trinidad, and they celebrate their women. And the carnival is more about the women than John Canoe is. And we have wonderful women in this country, and the celebration about the women is so appropriate, you know, and to get them into these beautiful outfits and to put them on Cespe. And carnival was about the woman of Bahamas. You know.
Do you use Bahamian, not use, but do you give Bahamians opportunities to enter the fashion business? Either as models or designers, or, I mean, is that something you're looking at?
We are constantly looking at it and doing it. I tell you what, I really have now committed, and it starts June 1st. We are now bringing our own fashions here as well. Nygard Slims will be in Marathon Mall, you know, starting June 1st. We take on the lease. You know,
Nygard, hold on, this is very shattering. Nygard Slims.
Marathon Mall, June 1st.
Where in the mall?
Well, we're right in the center court right there.
You're going to do your own kiosk?
No, more than a kiosk, a major store. We'll probably be one of the best looking stores in there when I'm finished. It's going to be a couple of months to build it, you know, from June 1st to maybe probably our grand open will be August 1st or something. But
we have to advertise and promote that for you.
Big time. Yeah. Big time, yeah. No, the Slims is one of the hardest pant products in the world. It is, can't keep it on the shelves in Dillard's and somewhere, you know. It is very, very successful.
Why? Because it fits so...
Because it does so much, you know. It really does truly slims you. A lot of other people say a lot of these things. This one, when you put it on, it feels you. You don't need Spanx any longer. You know, Spanx, she made $1 billion.
What's that?
Spanx is really the
pull you in?
The girdle.
You know? Okay. Yeah. You don't need that.
No. I sort of built the Spanx concept right into my pant, you know, and that actually slims you and holds you. As soon as you put it on, you're 2 or 3 inches thinner right off the bat. Your waist is thinner, you know, your hips are thinner. It uplifts your butt, you know, shapes it better. You know, you really feel and look so much slimmer, and then you feel that the pant is on you. You know, you bend down and it comes back up with you. You know, you don't have to pulling it up like that, and you start really feeling the difference. You know, and so it is called Slims because I really, giving the word pant wasn't fair to it. It's more than just a pant, but really I took a concept of what the woman really wants. They want to look slimmer, and they want to trim down the hips. You know, we have a bit of a weight problem in this country. You know,
in the Bahamas. Not in the world, but in the Bahamas.
Well, in the United States too. I mean, it's a serious problem, and everybody's working hard on dealing with it. So it's very much appreciated. This kind of a product. You know, the other thing is that now the fashion starts with the bottom. You know, there used to be you could only wear jeans. People don't like, jean business is really fallen dead. Yeah, it's not as comfortable. It doesn't, you know, you used to wear jeans and used to put them on very tight, you know, and to do the kind of things. Well, these Slims, you can put them on tight and they feel comfortable. Jeans never did, they never held, you know. These also shape you. So it really captured what the woman's desire is today. And then the word leggings are huge, you know. And it's not nylon leggings we're looking at. We're looking at leggings that are substantially enough that you can't see right through you, you know, because women, you know, you get too thin and they're too transparent, you know. So when we're going to start advertising a lot, and we do TV advertising notes, we become #1 on TV. We do like the whole TV selling, you know. We got to do that with you.
To that. Yeah. I want to take another break to recognize our sponsors. And then when we come back, I want to find out, what do you eat?
Okay. Yeah, that's an easy one.
That's an easy one?
That's the easy one. That's the easiest one.
And
easiest
then,
question, yeah.
And then I want to extend an invitation to you to go to kind of like an organic farm in Nassau called Down to Earth Adventure Farm. I believe you were there before with Sinclair on Cowpen Road. 10 acres of vegetables and fruits that are organic, and animals, exotic birds, and the rest of it.
Wow.
But we're going to talk about that when we come back. This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to Darold Miller Live. We're talking off air, but we can continue it on air with Peter Nygard. We're talking about the state of our men. I know we celebrating our women, but the state of particularly our young men, and how important it is to ensure that they have good role models.
It is so important, and it is so important for us not to slip into this era of crime.
Yeah.
Where we're going, it is so detrimental to everything. And I talked earlier about Bahamas having this fine reputation all the world. I'm afraid the other reputation that's starting to catch us for where it's closer by is this world of crime and not being safe. And it's so detrimental to our young men and our whole society going forward. The athletic part of our world has always been solid. That's been keeping the young men in the right path. And when you get the athletes, the athletes turn out to be good human beings and good society members. But when they don't have a real purpose and they're just allowed to be on the streets and become street gang kind of thing.
You told me your story, I think the last time you were on, about how you became successful. And I want you to repeat that. It was something about somebody offering you something to eat or something. You were so poor, you didn't have anything to eat. And then you said, you know what, I always want to help somebody. How does that story go?
It's a wonderful story. And I go back to it so many times because I truly am somebody who's gone from rags to riches. So it can be done. So anybody who has any illusions it can't be done. No one, even in this country, has been as poor as I was. I was living in a converted coal bin. In a converted coal bin. They took the coal out and they had a bed for us in a little town called Deloraine near Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a city, the coldest city in the world. Tried like 40 below zero type of cold, and then wind chill factors get you up to 60 below and so forth.
Wow.
That can keep you sort of honest, right? And your forehead starts curling over. Now, we were in there, and we were immigrants, couldn't speak English, and we were moved to this city
From
Finland, from Helsinki.
Right.
Escaped the Russian thumb. Helsinki, Finland's unfortunate to have lived beside Russia. Here's another neighbor situation, right?
Right.
And one neighbor tried to intimidate the other. We were living converted coal bin. No running water, no electricity. Only heat we have is a coal stove in the middle of it that we cooked and heated the place.
Your dad, your mom,
my sister, outdoor toilets, 40 below outdoor toilets. You take a trip down there,
you might freeze your butt off.
You better run real fast, and you go in and take a BP and it freezes. It's we got like icicle. It's an interesting experience. Now, being from Finland, we didn't sort of feel it that much, but I think about it back now. Amazing stories. So we had a rusty barrel, melted snow in the middle of it, and we crawled into this place to this COVID. So the story is that we were so hungry, that the most important time for me was when we had a Lutheran minister who used to come and teach us English. And he would bring in items with him. And he'd bring in a fork or a knife, and he'd hold them up, and we got a chance to repeat it. The most important words of all were the food words. He'd hold up a carrot or celery. And when I had a chance to say the word carrot 3 times correctly, he'd let me eat it. Daryl, I never missed a food word. he'd hold up celery, and my mouth is watering. My mouth is watering over celery. That's not usually high protein item. That was really, really good stuff
So
to
you're
look
saying you had to learn the words.
so I could eat.
If you couldn't say celery, you couldn't get the food.
That's right.
If you couldn't say carrot,
I couldn't get the food. I didn't miss it. I said it right. I had to say it 3 times.
now this is in English.
In English, yeah. I was
So
learning English.
you spoke Finnish.
Yes. Finnish, and we were learning English, I learned food words faster than any other words. So I knew celery and carrot. I've known those words all my life. Now, here's the part of this real story that really stays in my memory. My best friend was I happened to be a Chinese boy, come to talk about China earlier. I think he was my best friend because his dad had a Chinese restaurant. And in this, it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen in the world, Daryl. It had all these chickens hanging in a window, and had the smell of grease, and a typical old-fashioned Chinese restaurant. And he could take me to the back where the food is being made. That was luxury to me. And there was a toaster. And he would have this white toast, and he would put into toast. And the beautiful aroma and the smell of that toast, and I'm staring at those toasts, and my mouth is watering, and pop up the toast. He'd take one toast and he'd butter it. And then he'd eat it in front of me. And I'm watching every bite of it, and I'm getting closer and closer to my toast.
The next one is yours.
That, for sure, my eye was on it, and he takes that toast and he'd butter that. Daryl, he ate that toast as well.
He ain't give you none.
Didn't give me none. And you know what the lesson in my mind was? The lesson, and here's the punchline, the lesson in my mind was, if I ever have that second piece of toast, I'm going to share it. I never want anybody to go through that feeling that I had, being that hungry and not having shared. And I've been sharing my second piece of toast all the time since.
How did you feel the man ain't give you the toast?
How did I what?
How did you feel? I mean, you're waiting for that toast, and he didn't give it to you.
I felt heartbroken. I felt so jilted. I said, I don't want anybody to feel that way again. That's how I felt. It was a tragedy. That's why I've been sharing Nygard Key with those other people. That's my second piece of toast.
Because otherwise they wouldn't get there.
They wouldn't get there. And I have that 2 pieces of toast sitting right there, and I want to share the half of it anyway. And I talked about Nygard Key so many times. This is a place for sharing. It isn't just for me. I'm so damn fortunate to have this. I gotta share it. I gotta use it to promote money, raise money, to do all kinds of good things, for Bahama and other people, It comes instinctively. But I think it came all the way back from that toast story.
How much are you worth, Peter?
Oh, I don't know.
$5 billion?
I don't. I never had kept track of that. I never measured that. I never got into that competition. I deny all the stories when people ask me. I don't.
But you can tell me.
You can keep a secret?
Yeah, I can keep a secret.
It doesn't.
The last I checked, it was $3.1 billion.
Probably wrong.
5 homes.
Yeah, lots of homes.
How many employees?
There's directly about 6,000, indirectly about 30,000. Almost.
Wow.
It's a huge thing. It's a massive thing. And I say indirectly because I control factories after factory,
right.
Joint ventures. So I got joint ventures. I've had partners in my life for 20, 30 years. I go back now. I've been in a business now for almost 50 years now. And I go back and visit China now twice, and now these people have been with me, these factories even been with me for 25 years, 30 years. My employees have been with me 30 years, 40 years. It's amazing that kind of bonding I have built over the years, with my own associates and with my staff, with my customers, and it's been a tremendous bonding experience. I became number one with my vendors. I became number one with my customers.
What is your favorite meal?
Favorite meal I can't have anymore.
Don't tell me sausage.
That's the trouble with this world today is that we've been able to make, the scientists of food have been able to make such good tasting food chemically altering it. And you know what the trouble with this issue is? Our body gets addicted to everything that will kill it. And these guys know issues of what addictions are. Even a thing like a Coca-Cola, addictive drink, and they become huge successes because of very damaging to you. It will eat your bones, disintegrate your bones.
Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola. Dangers. Stay away of all those soft drinks. Do
what, lemonade?
Lemonade, but get into natural fruits. We were talking earlier about biofarms. Get rid of those citric fruits. They are killing you. Those are killing you. I had a girlfriend at 65 years old, perfect, beautiful body. She didn't want to age. I said, okay, I'm going to take you to my doctor, who's an anti-aging doctor. Perfect, everything perfect. The doctor asked her, do you drink Coca-Cola? She says, yeah, I love Coke. She said, you stop doing it. You got bones of a 56-year-old. It's eating your bones alive over there. She tried to give it up, and she had withdrawal pains, She was totally addicted to it, and those bones of hers were addicted to that Coke to want to self-destruct. We have a self-destructive mechanism in us, Fat is one issue, Why do we get fat? Because we love those foods that make us fat. When we get fat, we get diabetes, and
all right, let me ask this question another way. When you indulge, when you break the mantra of good eating, what do you eat? What is it? Pizza?
I love, like the rest of us, all this damn junk food. I'm as good at that as anyone was, and when I got to be fat, first time in my life, you saw the early pictures of it. That was a result of eating all that stuff that I also love. I'm no Kentucky Fried Chickens.
You like KFC?
I tested some of that chicken out at the carnival over there.
Yeah.
And everybody's lined up around it. I tested. Damn right, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
And
but you can only have so much.
I know I can't basically have any of it, and it's a terrible thing. Actually, my mom and dad were bakers. I could eat all the bakery goods. That's white carbohydrates and sugar. Now, you can't do much worse than that. Sugar and white carbohydrates put together and eat as much as you want of that. Man alive, my mom and dad were fat. We were getting fat. They said, that's poison. I had to give up all that.
I notice you have your own water, too.
I have it, yeah. This is alkaline water. This is now, with all the acidics out there, this is much better. This water, you guys, with all due respect, this is not all that good. This releases plastic, releases plastic in here, and we think it's all that good. Perhaps it's better than a city water, but it's nothing compared to this water. And this bottle is not plastic.
That's called Nygard water?
Yeah, it's elk. We took all the acidics out of it, all the bad minerals out of it, kept the good ones in here. You change the water molecule, you hydrate better. I can drink this whole bottle without feeling full. Just go all the way down there. And you start tasting the difference. I don't have enough of it. There's a difference, right? But it really is the most purifying effect of water you can get. I was so impressed with this that I gave this as a gift. I have factories in Bangladesh. You know what? I came in and gave them a gift. I set up the system to make this water for them. They have now the best water in the world in Bangladesh factories, where water is a real precious commodity. To have Nygard water there, couldn't have done a bigger favor for those people.
We have to go to our news break. And then when we come back, I want to hear more about stem cell. Because I think that's changing the face of the world. And that can do so much for so many. This is Darold Miller Live with Peter Nygard. We'll be back right after the news. Welcome back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS Radio and Television Networks. We want to recognize our many, many sponsors on Darold Miller Live and invite you to be a sponsor if you would like. Hannah's Plumbing, located on Palm Beach and Cordo Avenue and Palm Beach Street. That's Hannah's Limited, the plumbing fixtures and supplies. You can get your basins, your tubs, your Myers pumps, sanitizing products. They also have the surveillance section, the installation of surveillance equipment, cameras. They have electrical parts. They have the fittings that you need for your plumbing, brass, copper, and galvanized. They also have the sanitary towel dispensers and the toilet tissue dispensers. What's more important is that they ship to the Family Islands. So Family Islanders, if you're looking for good prices, wholesale, retail on your kitchen and lavatory faucets, your tubs and showers, your sanitizing products, Hannah's Plumbing is where you want to go. 325-7846. Hannah's Plumbing. And then K.S. Moses. That's where I go, Peter, to do my shopping. I'm always dressed from head to toe in K.S. Moses. And we're having a special announcement tomorrow as we talk about our Father's Day promotion leading up to June 21st, Father's Day. K.S. Moses is one of the major sponsors there, so I'm going to invite you now to go into K.S. Moses today or check the Facebook page out. See what they have to offer. Great, great prices. Suits, only $149. A nice pinstripe like this one, $149. You got the matching shirt, tie, pocket piece, all at great, great prices over at K.S. Moses. Ladies, don't forget the 17 shop. If you're a nurse, the 17 shop has a 20% off for you. We are celebrating our women. We are celebrating our nurses this month. And so nurses, take your ID and get 20% off your purchases at the 17 shop here in Nassau and in Freeport. Our very special guest today is Mr. Peter Nygard, and what a conversation we're having. We are kind of globe-trotting. We're dealing with international issues, with national issues, with personal issues. We're also talking about our diet, what's important. We're also talking about our government here in the Bahamas, the Progressive Liberal Party government. And I believe one of the criticisms against this government, Mr. Nygard, is that things move slow from an investor point of view. I've spoken to investors, John Issa, Butch Stewart. I don't know if things are moving slowly for the Malaysians in Bimini, the Genting Group, who are also thinking about getting BEC. They didn't get BEC. By the way, you have a view on BEC, the Electricity Corporation? There's now an American company, Power Secure, that's coming in to do the management and help rejuvenate BEC. You have any comments about our electricity supply?
Electricity supply has been rotten. Rotten. I mean, we you talked earlier about infrastructure, and needing infrastructure repair. Not only the roads have needed repair, but telephone and electricity. We have one of the worst telephone systems here, and we have one of the worst electricity systems here, of anybody. And anything that we can do to get those two things corrected properly. To me, it's somewhat embarrassing to deal with telephones.
So your lights go out?
Yeah. Lights go out, and my generator comes on, and but way too much for today's modern world. I mean, it's shameful, and then you add insult to injury, and you got that oil supply over there at Clifton, and oil is leaking out of there.
Leaks.
So we have a double problem. Now we also have another big possibility here that I was even recommending myself is to embrace solar energy.
Solar.
Yeah, and we could make, my opinion, a sweetheart deal with the Chinese government, to be almost like the model place to sell solar energy for everybody else. if we would really embrace that as a policy. Yeah. And their solar energy industry is in deep trouble now because the United States and Europe have cut them off. They call them dumping. So they put big quotas and restrictions on them. So they're really looking for some really customers. But you've got to deal with those two issues for certain. You're talking about this energy issue for sure. Those are colossal big issues to deal with. So bigger issues than even the roads. Both, not only the electricity, but also our communication systems. The problem here is, we are one of the most tapped phone systems in the world as far as security is concerned. A reputation.
Tapped?
Yeah, everybody can tap into our systems in here. It is like cancer. It's terrible. The security of our communication systems. Just in case you didn't know, and the security issues in terms of communications today, cyber.
They hacked into the government's website.
Hacked.
Just yesterday.
This is the government's website. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the easiest place, apparently, one of the easiest places to hack anything, So I have there's a lot of work to do there. There's a lot of work to do there. Now, I don't know much about in terms of what the solutions that are being considered, but anything at all that we're going to start doing in that regard is very, very needed and very important to be able to even compete with the rest of the islands themselves, who appears to be better off than we are in that regard. Now, I'm not an expert on it, so I shouldn't speak too far on that subject, but I travel all over the world.
Yeah.
And this is the worst place for electricity. How do you like that? The country I love the most. And this is the worst place for telephone communications. Hello, can't get through, you keep breaking down, So it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So it's hard to build a business.
St. Kitts is better?
Yeah. And amazingly, yes. And, of course, Dominican Republic is really good, Mexico.
DR is good?
Yeah. And Mexico is really... DR is claiming that the satellite goes right over their place,
I was about to say, with all of the hilly, mountainous ranges of the Dominican Republic, still better.
Still better, yeah. So we have a big investments to make in that as well. And you're talking about a country that doesn't have the money to do it with. So then Prime Minister Christie had a big job to try to put this VAT tax in, which is a necessity to do, and it's not popular. Anytime you start taxing people, instead of giving money back, you're not popular. But hell, he can't get on with this stuff. He's going to continue to operate in debt. So it's a big dilemma. But you could, to get investments in here, you have to have electricity, and to get investments in here, you have to have telephone communications, and cell systems and all the rest of it.
We haven't opened our lines. I'm having such a good conversation with you. People like to interact with you. Listen to this one. This is coming in by way of text. Good morning, Mr. Miller. Tell your guest I need a slice of his toast.
Yeah, we all do.
It says, my husband of only 2 years lost both his legs to poor circulation and diabetes.
That's the price of diabetes. It's an epidemic. Mm-hmm. It's an epidemic which is fed by sugar. You go down to the worst things today in this world is you got two issues. You got cigarettes and sugar.
What's wrong with cigarettes?
Cigarettes and sugar. You go into medical business and you smoke, go down this line. If you don't, you take that line that way because you're that's the death line.
Yeah.
Man alive, you're a smoker. You go to the medical community and you're already asking for it. So and I'll tell you what is the number one medicine. Exercise. Number one medicine is exercise.
That's why Leo tells me, don't smoke around here. at your place.
No, I've been like that for 40 years. I was the first company in the world that had a non-smoking company when it was popular. You know, when we'd be in a room like this and it'd be full of smoke, right? Because there was a smoker's right to pollute the air, but then I just found it so unhealthy for some reason instinctively. So we started promoting and we started giving people bonuses. I said, listen, I'll give you $10,000 if you start smoking. You know, and they take me up on it. And if they got it back again, they'd have to give the money back. You know, and so forth. So we were on this non-smoking kick for a long time. It was so healthy. Just like Darold now, we're in exercise, and now we're in a good food kick. You know, we talked about that earlier. No sugar. White carbohydrates gone. That's white rice, white anything. You know, there goes the pizzas, and there goes all the rest of it. Resaturated oils, you put those French fries in those resaturated oils, and you get all that good tasting oil come out. That gets in the veins. Dangerous stuff. Glucose, you know, and all that packaged food, you know, it preserves the food, but that stuff gets into your body and it preserves and kills your body. You know, and then there's all these citric drinks, you know, Coca-Colas. Eliminate that from your diet. Right. And you're going to have 20 more years of life, and you're not going to get fat. And if you get fat, you get diabetes. You get diabetes, you lose your legs, just like your person said over there.
Tell Mr. Peter Nygard he is a good man. Continue to share his toast. And as for Mr. Bacon, let him go fry himself. He can't take nothing with him anyway. I like Mr. Nygard. He talks real truth. We need more Bahamians like Mr. Nygard.
That's a very appreciated comment. Thank you.
Then here's another one that says, good afternoon, Darold. Where can Nygard water be purchased?
Well, it's a special machine, a relatively expensive machine that makes that water. You know, we have it located in all my factories, everything else, but it isn't for sale. We don't have it. We haven't put it for sale, so it can't be purchased. But these machines can be. You know, they come from Japan, and they're the high end of all the osmosis type of machines.
You haven't put it out?
No, we haven't.
Because someone is saying they want to help in the distribution of it. This is ionic alkaline water. Yeah. How does it differ from other water?
First of all, it's alkaline bodies. Acidic bodies get sick, alkaline bodies don't. So you got to eliminate acidics from your body in the first place. You know, so this is taking all the acids content out of this water. You know, and it's a high level of alkaline. Second of all, we've taken all the bad minerals out of it and kept all the good ones inside. Third of all, we changed the molecule. It is a new molecule, a lighter molecule in here, which enables you to absorb the water. The trouble with water is you have to drink a lot of water, you know, but it doesn't get absorbed. You get dehydrated. This hydrates. It gets into your body, you know, and you need to have water. So if I carry this around with me all the time. You can see it all the time. Mm-hmm. The more water I drink, the healthier I am, you know. And so, but it's so much. See, the trouble with that
Facebook messages.
The trouble with that plastic water is that plastic releases into that water, you know. And, you know, as soon as you do this like that, you get a little bit of release. So there's a really bad stuff going into that water because of the plastic that's contained in there. The other thing about that plastic is very dangerous for the environment. This you can't recirculate that. That just stays in there like forever, you know, and kills fish, kills vegetables, etc. So it's a very unhealthy product, basically, for both ways, for you to drink it as well as for the plastic containers, what you do with them, you know. So everybody today is really against the word plastic anyway, you know, because it's so bad for the environment. So in environment conscious at all, you get something that you recycle. This is like a glass. We recycle this all the time. We just wash it and we just drink it, you know, out of here, you know, and carry it around and drink it right out of the bottle, right?
What else you want to talk about?
Look, I think there's a real. We start talking about the message of politics, you know, and about, I must say, about this wonderful man wonderful human being,
Who are you referring to?
Carl Perry Christie. No, and I got to say that. I said earlier I was very disappointed about not moving fast enough, and so is lots of people. The other side of it is here's a human being who's dedicated his life to this and who's really genuinely a good man, who's trying to leave himself a great legacy, this country in a better place. And one thing that really saddens me is this Bacon guy now is taking him on and is trying to paint him as a corrupt man. Now, you can say a lot of things about Perry Christie. Don't say anything about corrupt, because one thing he's not corrupt. And we all have our flaws, and he may have his, but don't you dare to go there. And that's one of the most injustice things that Mr. Louis Bacon can do now is as a foreigner over there, falsifying evidence to make it seem like Perry Christie is corrupt. Made it even seem like the life would keep people think and us calling him corrupt. And now he's going around and doing all his campaigning to win this election. How? To paint him as a corrupt person, as a corrupt society, etc. And that's an incredible amount of damage to the country and damage to Perry Christie himself. And he just doesn't deserve that. And this guy is very, very big menace to this country, I must say that, the guy who's done more harm to this country today is a guy named Louis Bacon. Now, I may have done more good than perhaps any other expatriate.
How much good have you done?
It keeps coming back to me over the next 30 years, over and over. It just seems like every human being that's been in the Bahamas, somehow I've touched them one way or another, Now, I don't go around measuring that.
No.
I don't keep track, but it's coming back to me. Wellington Miller
You
just
help
came.
the boxers, you help the athletes.
Wherever I can. These people say, Mr. Nygard should share this, so you can't save the world. But, I keep every day doing something, And if I don't do something good every day, Darold, I'm not happy. I do it because I want to, not because I have to, not because I'm obligated to, not because I want to get some credits for it. Now, I don't know if I've been better than everybody else.
But you've given the PLP quite a bit of money.
I have supported them in the last election. I bought those T-shirts, because I'm in that business, right?
Yeah.
I haven't given 10% of what Mr. Bacon has given F&M. I haven't given.
You can't. You don't know it. You don't know it.
It's so known out there. Everybody knows as to how he's feeding this stuff over there. Where does F&M get their money from? They get it from donors. And who the biggest donor?
They get it from donors.
Bacon is the biggest donor of the Republicans in the United States, of the Conservative Party in England, and F&M over here. It is a fact. That's how he operates. He buys himself into the government favors.
Well, you do the same. You buy yourself into the PLP favor. You pick your horse. If Mr. Bacon's horse is Republican.
You know what I do? I support people, basically. I supported Frank Watson, who was, it wasn't so political. It was because he was a good man. He still is one of the best men around in this Bahamas. So I pick people. And I must say that I've known Perry Christie now for 30, 40 years. He was one of the first people I met over here, and we've been good friends all this time. And I think he is a good man. And I am not asking about anything as if I give you this, you give me that. No.
You pay your way.
I earn everything I get all my life like that, and if I don't deserve it, I don't buy my way out of it, period.
Mr. Ingram didn't like you.
He didn't like me because he was supported by Bacon. It is as clear as that. That election was Ingram, Bacon versus Nygard Christie.
You're talking about...
last election.
Okay, 2007.
Yeah, and this election is coming that way as well now. No one's more active in this election now than Mr. Louis Bacon. Every piece of advertising, every piece of stuff you see going on is his financing of this election now. He's electing down here, and you know what his main theme is? Corruption, corruption, corruption. That Perry Christie is a corrupt, and all his, and he knows the elections are won by the word corruption, by the word crime.
Elections are won by money.
Yeah. You have to have money, and then you have to have a message. And unfortunately, the message has to be negative. Unfortunately, the negative message. So if you can build a negative message, as he's trying to build on his Perry Christie now and every day. You see on that picture, he's got Perry Christie sitting there side by side. He's trying to belittle. You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to belittle the key guy who is a helper of this party. And if he takes me out of the picture, he wins the election. And if he takes Perry Christie out, his reputation, then he wins this election.
If Perry Christie steps down as leader of the Progressive Liberal Party in time, who do you suppose would be a good choice to succeed Mr. Christie as leader of the PLP? Obie Wilchcombe? Shane Gibson? Jerome Fitzgerald? Philip Brave Davis?
And all of those people are good people, by the way. I think you covered it. I am not in a position even to make that judgment call, nor want to. I hate politics with passion. If I have any politics in my business, I wipe it out. I have no stomach for politics at all. I think it's terrible, terrible word. You get the word politics in your business, down you go, So I don't even like politics, I think it's so damn artificial, and you do all kinds of things to make it seem good when it isn't.
But it is what it is.
I would be the worst politician in the world. I'm way too straightforward. I'm way too transparent, So I don't even. Therefore, I don't get into it really in terms of trying to even influence the politics of this world. But if people are asking me to help, whether it's in politics or whether it's in medicine or whether it's in anything else, and I find a person worthwhile, I step forward on it. When I first came in this country, first thing they were asking me is making political donations. We had a very famous guy, Sir Pindling, in power, right? And I had to make donations for the political party, or I couldn't get things done, right? So, look, when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do, I try to stay away as far away from it as I can, and I am not trying ever to influence whatever contribution I make, and when I make it, to influence anything at all after that. I am not buying one single thing with that thing, and I don't expect anything in return.
Maybe we can take one or two calls. One or two. We only have a few minutes left. So let me open up the lines for interchange with Mr. Peter Nygard, international fashion mogul is how Mandy describes him. That's a good description?
Yes. Yeah, that's been the title I've had. It's okay.
Yeah. I would put to that a great philanthropist, someone who helps those who are in need, and also someone who is a lover of the Bahamas.
Yes.
The telephone numbers are 325-5405 here in Nassau. 325-5405. From the family of islands, Andros, Exuma, Long Island, Inagua, it's toll-free, 1-242-300-8255. Turks and Caicos, you can call as well. We're taking calls for Mr. Peter Nygard. You can send me a WhatsApp message or text to our BTC line powered line, which is working, 447-9879. 447-9879. You can follow us on our Facebook page. We invite you to like our Facebook page, Darold Miller Live. We also have the personal page, Darold Miller. We're going to be posting to both pages today. We have posted already. We have tweeted already. Our Twitter handle, @MillerDarold. Also Instagram, you can follow us, Darold Miller. Email address, tci.daroldmiller, Darold Miller, @gmail.com. Darold Miller Live @gmail.com. By the way, we want to invite you, if you know someone who is deserving of recognition for any good deeds that they have done, we invite you to submit to Mandy's Minutes. You can send an email, Mandy's Minutes, #1 @gmail.com. Check out our Facebook page for more information, Darold Miller Live Facebook page or Mandy's Minutes Facebook page. That's coming up tomorrow, 12:05, when our executive assistant, Mandeline Thompson, will be recognizing persons in the community or in the workplace who perform good deeds. Mr. Peter Nygard is here to take calls. He is performing good deeds in his own way, not just here in the Bahamas, but around the world, employing thousands of people. But more importantly, revolutionizing the anti-aging process to reverse aging, and that's very, very significant. And the Bahamas, hopefully, would become a center for stem cell research and therapy and for the reverse aging industry.
Yeah, and that's been the plan and let's say the legacy that the Prime Minister Christie wanted to develop, and with my encouragement.
And it's not too late.
And it's not too late.
He's moving slow, in your opinion, but...
Yeah. No, he's cautious. He's cautious, and good for him. He doesn't do things recklessly, but it's to my liking. I like to go faster, So we and I'm about a year behind or so with this whole stem cell thing. The trouble with it has been that this whole stem cell world has really relied on my good reputation.
Not just in the Bahamas.
Yeah, not just in the Bahamas. No, in the world. I'm absolute the lead, but in Bahamas particularly. And now we've been sort of fighting, this nemesis of mine, and trying to push that down. Even the world stem cells, he's trying to push down. He made it seem like we were going to build a stem cell clinic at Nygard Key.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, because he wanted to get the Lyford Key people upset,
with you.
So they would put in an injunction against the government to prevent the government from putting and approving a stem cell clinic at Nygard Key. Now, how stupid is that? But they fell for it, and now that the Lyford Key people see that they've been tricked, they're plenty upset here because they were railroaded into calling the Prime Minister corrupt through that action. It's corrupt enough to put an injunction against him for making this decision, And then, of course, he cleverly was holding it up in the court systems. So that stem cell thing has been behind probably about a year now as to where we wanted to have. But there have been significant investments behind the scenes that I can't even disclose right now, in that regard. And there has been some licenses that Perry Christie has been giving out to, I think, about 5 different people, including, I think, he must have said it publicly, so forth. But as I understand, he was going to give out 5 licenses, and he has given 4. Those are wonderful already. And
for stem cell?
For stem cell, yeah. Now, the reason we're talking about the licenses...
Have you gotten one?
I have not asked for one yet, because my license would be a very, very big license, meaning a very... These are, you can go specific, or
you're going to be broad.
In a very big environment kind of thing. So my whole concept has been to really create a center, major center. This could be 100 million, 200 million, maybe even more kind of investment. So it is the grand picture, But that has a lot of other issues behind it. So we aren't at that stage yet, because we have to get this, quite frankly, this monkey off my back.
Hello, Darold. I am an entrepreneur in the Bahamas and owner of an all-natural coconut water operation. I would like to know what are Mr. Nygard's views on all-natural coconut water and products in the Bahamas? Most of all, does he consume natural coconut water?
Answer is yes. Wonderful, wonderful product, coconut milk, coconut water. We have it right there in our coconut trees. Man, I in Nygard Key, I tell them to save all the coconuts and start drinking right out of the coconut. You know, and Brazil does a lot of that. A lot of people do that. That's one of the healthy ones. That's one of the healthy things to drink. So we have a great asset here. Let's use it.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. Thank God for men like your guest. I had the great opportunity in speaking with your guest at a press conference at his house with King Eric Gibson a few years ago. And oh my God, he is indeed a success and a people's person. Please tell him, accept my invitation and come to Auckland's. We need him in this great land of Auckland's urgently. And he gives his address. That's where King Eric was from.
Yeah,
Auckland.
and I was in Auckland.
Yeah.
I was there. That's right.
For regatta?
Well, I went to regatta and for possible investment possibilities.
Uh-huh.
You know, King
This
Eric.
is Stephen Rose, then. You probably know him.
Sure,
Selena
sure.
Point.
Yeah, I'll give him my regards.
Yeah.
Very nice person.
Yeah. Good day, Mr. Miller. Mr. Peter Nygard is the worst man ever. You know, all ain't gonna be good.
No,
That's probably one of the operatives.
The Bacon's guy, yeah. Yeah.
Darold Miller, tell Mr. Nygard he is doing a great job. I am diabetes. My eye feeling bad, Mr. Miller. I put on weight. He need to come to Eleuthera and help us.
Big breakthroughs are happening in diabetes nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is just around the corner now. Because as I said, diabetes is an epidemic around the world. You know, and is one of the highest levels of medical research being done in the world of diabetes. You know, so it's just around the corner. But one of the key things of diabetes is that it can't be contained and controlled. We just have to watch what we eat. Mm-hmm. You know? So the trouble with our human beings is that we self-inflict diabetes on ourselves, you know, and there's no amount of medicine or no amount of exercise you can do if you put the wrong things in your mouth. You can never overcome that. It starts right there. That's the first line. And if one wants to really be healthy, better start watching what you eat.
Hi, Mr. Miller. Does your guest help young people with their educational pursuits? My daughter completes her medical studies on the 30th of May. She wants to pursue her specialty in oncology. Will he be able to help her? That's what, study of cancer?
Yeah, study of cancer, yeah. And there's some wonderful people. Conville Brown here is that's a very good job.
At the Bahamas Heart and Chest Center.
Yeah, he's doing excellent work in all of the islands right now, and very competent facility and very competent doctor.
Would you help her?
You know, it's very difficult for me to respond to that like that.
You mean individually?
Individually,
like
you know, there's a million of those. Mm-hmm. And you know, the hardest thing in the world is where you draw these lines and how you deal with it fairly. That's why I don't really talk so much about helping.
Yeah.
Because then it's very hard to say, okay, this one does and this one doesn't. It is the toughest thing in the world, you know.
So what? You have people who
No, I have foundations. That everybody has to have foundations, and have to have a policy of what they do. Mm-hmm. For example, I'm a huge supporter for breast cancer.
Yeah.
All the way from breast cancer research to breast cancer diagnosis to breast cancer cure, and then breast cancer survival celebrations. Mm-hmm. The whole line, you know, and so I've taken that as my major cause, you know, because you can't do everything, and I want to do something really well. Then, of course, there are other things. My major cause is now this whole rejuvenation issue, you know, and so I'm being specialized in those things. But then you can't handle every piece of this stuff, you know. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got to go to our last break, and then we will come back. Peter Nygard is our very special guest. Sydney Sinclair, I want to alert you now that we're coming to Down to Earth Adventure Farm at some point before Mr. Nygard leaves to Bahamas. You're not here for long. I know.
I'm leaving today.
You move fast.
I got a meeting with the Prime Minister of St. Kitts tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, tomorrow to wrap up that deal.
But you got your private jet.
Yeah, it's waiting at the airport. It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's my home away from home.
Is it fast?
It's a
Do you
fast-
know Craig Flowers?
Mine's faster than his.
Get out of here.
Greg Flowers are good friends. I have such an admiration for him.
Yeah.
No, mine's the number uno. They don't come any finer than my jet.
But Craig can fly his own.
Oh yeah, well I can't fly. This thing of mine is huge. I mean it's a 727 Super.
It's not a jet. I guess so.
It's at the airport. It's the biggest airplane in the goddamn airport. It is the most expensive toy ever bought, and quite frankly, it is probably.
What does it have on it? Nygard?
Peter Nygard, yeah, it's got Peter Nygard.
So you can take a lot of people. Or you have it refitted.
I can take about 20, 25 people comfortably sleeping double beds, having various restaurants, in-home theater. I even have a disco on it.
Yeah. How is Bianca?
She's doing so well now.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. She's just rejuvenated, and becoming more and powerful today. So she's just really, really finding a whole new lease on life.
She your only child?
No. I got 8 or 9 of them. Okay. She's my oldest.
Yeah.
And of course your oldest also is the apple of your life. And then she always, it'd be interesting, Bianca. She was virtually born here, and always, ever since she was so high, I want to be in Bahamas. I want to be in barefoot. She's always loved this from day one.
She does some of the most amazing volunteer things I've ever seen.
Instinctively.
Yeah.
Instinctively. That's right. That's what she's
Say, chip don't fall far from the block.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's it. She's always out there helping, and then calling behind the scenes, calling on me to major contributions. Who was the head of Valley Boys that passed
Gus
away?
Cooper.
Man, she was like
she's a Valley girl at heart.
She was so close to him, and he broke her heart so much. And I am there flying him down to doctors over there to save his life, and it was because of her. She called on it and so forth. So, no, she just gives up everything for volunteer work, and helps people. It's just in her heart.
Let's take this final break. This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS Radio and Television Networks. How quickly time goes. Want to tell you about Better Living Health Center in Delhi. It's a vegetarian haven, health foods, dried fruits, nuts, herbal teas, supplements, veggie meat, operation. It's located on Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street. Better Living Health Center in Delhi. Check out that deli because you'll get a variety of dishes for breakfast and lunch. Upstairs, there's a dining room available. We've been talking about what you eat is very, very important. So there's this vegetarian salad bar. It's a health food store as well. You can get substitutes if you like coffee, but coffee may not be good for you. So you can get coffee substitutes. You can get those 5 different entrees served in the deli every day. You can get the herbal supplements. You can get the vitamins and minerals. It's a non-animal menu, so it's tasty. We're talking about Better Living Health Center in Delhi, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street. Take this number down, 323-5473, 323-5473. The raw ingredients for eating healthy what are available there. They have vegetarian cooking classes as well. For those of you with diabetes, you can get some consultation for the management of diabetes. A lot of people have allergies and the rest of it. Well, you want to check out Better Living Health Center in Delhi. It'll keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise. And then I want to tell you about Screws and Fasteners World, which is located Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, right next to the Better Living Health Delhi. The number for Screws and Fasteners World, 326-1976. They have the metric screws, the standard screws, hard-to-find screws. This is all part of the Hannah Claire Group of Companies located Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street. You can ask for Pat Claire or any of the great staff there. They have have a variety of stuff. They have oversized concrete and steel bits that are hard to find. They have belt sanders. They have chains and ropes and special rods. Any hard-to-find screw. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour and Palm Beach Street, 326-1976. Mr. Nygard, our time has come and our time has gone. Do you have anybody on the line? No? One person on the line? Let's see if we can take one call and then our time will be out. Dwight, you've been holding. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller, and good afternoon, Mr. Nygard.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Nygard, you might not remember me or you don't know me, but I worked right next to your home for many years. And,
Turn him up a bit.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I said I worked right next to your home for many years. And I've had the opportunity to even spy on you for the Bacons.
Spy for the Bacons?
Yes.
Are
Spy.
you proud of that?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Because I was always under the influence that Mr. Nygard was the bad man. As a matter of fact, there's so many stories I can tell you. Well, Mr. Nygard would be familiar with this name, Dan Tuckfield.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, yes.
Yes, and I worked with Dan. And I would take pictures to send to Mr. Bacon. Take pictures of you and all of the people playing the volleyball, you calling the game and all of that. But what I really called for was to find out whether there was some way that I can meet with you.
Well,
Leave your number.
yeah, you certainly can. You know, we've had a lot of interesting reports exactly that way. People coming out the woodworks and talking about this whole legacy.
Dwight,
Yes?
leave your number with our producer. It's very, very important that you do.
Okay, Millaboo.
Oh, it's you.
Yes, it's me.
Only very few people call me
Yeah,
Millaboo.
man. I was in your mother's store when you passed the common entrance and your mother was telling a friend that you don't have to pay for your education anymore.
That's right. That's when
I was in your mother's store.
the PLP
Won the election.
made education free.
Right.
Okay. Our time is short, so I'm going to put you on hold, give your number to Melissa, and Peter and I will get it and make sure that he contacts you.
Okay, Mr. Miller.
All right?
Yes, I will.
And thank you for the call.
You're welcome, sir.
You know,
Good conversation.
That's a good point to end on.
I'm going to tell you, this is the kind of thing that's coming out of the woodworks now. There's a lot of people like that who have come from the past now, have come up like that and said about similar things. And similar things about Mr. Bacon are not so good, you know. So the issues that he's accusing me of, he is himself is very, very guilty of those things. So this is not the first call I got of that sort, you know, where people, quote, being set up to be spying on me and all the rest of the stuff. Unknown to me. I never knew any of this. I never knew. For 5 years, I was his friend, and he was meanwhile doing all this spying, you know, setting me up, you know. So that's a very interesting call.
I'm sorry. I've had 10 inquiries about this water. People want to know where they can get this water.
I can tell you this, that I can give you the name of the machine that can be bought from Japan. And that machine makes it, you know. So we have been.
They want you to make it and put it on the market.
Yeah, no, that's and I can do that, and I've been thinking about doing that as part of my whole stem cell world.
Yeah.
That whole stem cell world, that whole medical world starts with that water.
Right.
That's the most important thing you put into your mouth is your water, and that's the most important water you can do. And it starts with that, Daryl. In fact, that's one of the things that's going to make an investment into this huge machine that's going to do that water and actually start selling that water. Okay.
Normally, I would invite my guests to Divine Cafe, where we get good soup and macaroni, potato salad, and all of that. But for you, we're going to the farm.
Get away from those macaroni and potato
Man,
salads.
listen.
No more
I don't care
carbohydrates.
what you say. I can have my macaroni.
I gotta compliment you. I gotta compliment how good you do look, and that suit of yours, and that tie of yours, and how fashionable you are, and how you're up to speed on all of the social media programs.
sir.
Very, very impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you, son. Congratulations to you for being a lover of the Bahamas and the Bahamian people. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another lively, provocative Darold Miller.